a year, which roughly is 2 to 5% of the gross domestic product of the country, is allocated to spinning around in tax circles
All
effectively.
right, so not to suggest that that money's being pissed away as a result of the complications of the tax code, but to an extent, it's being pissed away. Now, listen, it lines the pockets of. I know, in fact, I had multiple CPA clients when I was a financial planner. But those are dollars that's a lot of money, man, that could be pumped into the economy were it not for the tax code.
Right. And there's basically two things that Coburn identifies as the huge problem with the tax code. Number one is that it adjusts incentives and it distorts the marketplace because so many decisions are made not on the basis of commerce or end results or gain
Right,
or
right,
whatever.
right, right.
They're made on the basis of taxes. So people do things for tax purposes that if it wasn't because of tax incentives or disincentives, they wouldn't do those things at all, or to a lesser amount or something.
And well, let me tell you this. As a planner, I focused on fee-based financial planning, and a lot of that was tax analysis. And this thing goes way beyond just the cost of tax preparation. The multiple amount of trusts that are established. And oh my God, I could talk for a week about different trusts, all established to either defer or eliminate altogether taxes, both on an income tax basis, both on a deferred tax basis, and ultimately on an estate tax basis. All that stuff, I mean, dude, if you roll in the legal fees and the cost for the preparation of the various trusts and stuff, this number would explode.
Oh, it's disgusting. In fact, I remember a couple of months ago, I did a story on IJ Review that Bill and Hillary split the ownership of their mansion in upstate New York into two separate trusts, 50% ownership of the trusts, and the beneficiary of the trust is Chelsea Clinton. And by splitting the ownership that way and then passing it on to their daughter, they are able to defer 100% of all capital gains taxes on the property when they die. So what it does is, number one, is it's a bunch of spinning around for purely tax avoidance behavior.
Look, I don't want to get too deep into the weeds here, but it's actually at death, appreciated property, capital appreciation versus whatever, but beneficiaries get stepped up basis at the death of the benefactor. What they avoid are estate taxes, which far more. I mean, just look at estate tax brackets and so forth. Lots and lots of money. But the whole tax code thing, and Coburn, let's get back to that article. He's right on. But all I'm saying is when you go out into the weeds or look at the various tentacles of the money spent trying to avoid taxation in this country is astronomical.
Oh, it's staggering. And then the second issue he identifies as the problem is any sort of tax credit or tax deductible item or something that is done that saves you in taxes. Those tax funds are then therefore paid for by somebody else, and you're in effect subsidizing that behavior. And the best example, and this is something that has long bothered me, even when I owned a mortgage company, it bothered me that the tax code has a bias for people that own real estate as opposed to rent it. So the place that I live in right now, I rent. So I pay effectively a higher rate of income tax of revenue to the government in order to offset guys like you that deduct your mortgage interest and property taxes.
I have no mortgage, but anyway.
Well, good for you. God, that's one of the dude. That right there is one of the sexiest statements a human being could ever make.
Well, see, and who did it come from? But if you really think, listen, we should do a whole show, or at least a whole half hour on tax issues. Because if you think about the premise, there are countries around the world who tax people who spend versus people who save. And we do that the other way around. We don't look, set aside sales tax. We tax people who save in this country. We tax as ordinary income, interest from CDs, bond dividends, and the whole like. We tax as appreciation capital investments, unless, again, they're in some sort of trust. But we don't tax what people spend. So we should do a whole thing on alternatives to the federal tax code, and be it the flat tax, be it the fair tax, whatever have you. We should do that sometime, because you just brought I told you I'm a closet nerd when it comes to this kind of stuff. You just brought me out, dude, and exposed me before the whole world.
Oh, you know what, man? I am right on board. I got into this thing, and I'm probably 3 pages into 300. And as my head started to explode, I realized, wait a second. I pay taxes, and I've been paying taxes for, I don't know, 25, 26 years, something like that. It has never crossed my mind to go through and read the 9,000-page tax code to understand it. By the way, when the tax code launched initially, 27 pages long. 27 pages. I mean, that's a pamphlet. I mean, it's an absolute and I thought, okay, I should at least devote the time to read the 300 pages to understand what's wrong with this thing. Well, here's the problem that I see, Mike, is this. As a conservative, my opinion is that taxes are a necessary evil to fund government operations.
Sure.
Okay? And I believe that the taxes should be as low as possible and should be paid on an equal amount for every single American, beginning on their first dollar, with no deductions or credits of any kind. That's my fundamental position.
All right, and that's something that we need to talk about. And I think, I'm serious, we need to do a whole show on the current tax code and alternatives. I'll tell you something else as we wind down. Something else that bothers me and has bothered me as a conservative and a financial planner. There is a hell of a lot going in the tax code that I put in the category of what you don't know can hurt you. And a quick example would be someone with an appreciated farm who dies and their family can't pay the estate taxes on receiving the farm. Well, if you're in the know, if you know an attorney who can help you set up trust, you're good to go. If you're not, if you don't know what's going on and you don't know what you don't know, you can lose your farm. So there is so much, man, in the tax code that is, it's just frankly wrong. And I say that as a conservative.
Yeah, totally agree. Here's the problem. This is the conclusion. I don't know if you've watched the video. The video that I have there, it's about 8 minutes.
I can't stand looking at your smiley face, dude.
Well, here's the problem, man, is that the politicians in the government don't see tax code as merely a way to produce revenue. They see it as a way to encourage and discourage wanted and unwanted behaviors, and reward favored constituents and punish unfavored constituents.
Oh, there's no question, and that's two different issues, or they can interrelate. But just go to Obamacare. I mean, and then yeah, exactly, dude. We got to do a whole segment. Yeah.
Oh, we absolutely that is a genius topic, but it just I can't reiterate enough, guys. I'll put up this video. I'll put up this link. Take the time over the holidays here to go look at that. No question.
I second that emotion. Listen, we're out of time, man. It's been a great show. I wish we were on tomorrow. Wish we were on Friday, but we're not. We're taking time off, and we should do that. You all, thanks for listening. We really appreciate it, and want you to definitely have a happy Merry Christmas as opposed to Happy Holidays. This is The Right Mics with Mike Miller and Michael Hausum. Dude, Merry Christmas, man.
Dude, Merry Christmas to you, man.
And Happy Kwanzaa. And
Happy Kwanzaa.
And Phyllis, Happy Kwanzaa again. Jessica, I'm not seeing a countdown.
We got like 40 seconds.
Oh my God! I got to again. I was freaked out from yesterday when I did not scroll down on the message board to look. We have some good guests next week, by the way, you guys. Again, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good day as we speak. But for sure, thanks for listening. Tell your friends. See us again Monday, The Right Mics, with Mike Miller and Michael P. Howsam. See you, brother.
This show is produced by IJReview.com.
This show is copyright by VLR Media. All opinions of panelists and guests are their own and may not reflect the opinion of VLR Media, the host, or anyone else.